Good morning. Excuse me. Great morning, everyone. What's going on? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. What a blessing to be here with you this morning. Looking forward to another fantastic session. We've gotten back into the flow. There's a lot to cover. 2021 is going to be a year to remember, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we take care of each other, make sure that we stay on the right side of the market. A lot of concerns today, what's going on in the markets. We're going to take a look at that. And then this session is going to be pretty Bitcoin centric. So if that's not what you're in for today, I'll cover the other markets first. I'll make sure everyone has that clarity we need. Then there's a lot I need to talk about with you and cover regarding Bitcoin. I need to talk about as my perception is changing, what I am currently focusing on so that you also have that as well. Is there anything that we need to talk about regarding politics today that could affect the markets? None that I know of. So that's that for that. There's just no political talks today because there's nothing happening that could affect the markets right now. So that's that. What is affecting the markets? Let's jump down over here. Let me come down to the 8-hour time frame. We're going to start off with the indexes. I was really, because we do have a live trading session this morning, I was going to really focus on what I feel is the most important thing right now. However, Brandon this morning did mention to me, listen, a lot of people are concerned about the indexes right now. They're concerned about the stocks. Here, I'm going to share his opinion because it's exactly what mine is. The dollar, the DXY is a big thing right now. I had set up a little bit of information to talk about the dollar. Let me see where that is, just so I have my own bearings. All right, and so we're going to put it all together. First, the calendar, though, by the way. On the calendar, we do have non-farm payrolls this Friday. Keith has made everyone abundantly aware of that all week. That's the next big event on the calendar. What else is in front of us over here? This is the DXY. Before we get into the indexes, and I will cover the indexes, we've also added Kips's UK 100 over here. Look at that. Came right into the resistance last night. Didn't even realize that. We'll be yeah, I did. We were just below it yesterday on the live stream. We're going to take a look at all that together. We'll start on the DXY, though, all right? And we're going to get into gold and silver, right? That's right, George. Thanks to Kips. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you out of your generosity who stepped up to be moderators to help out over here because, you know, in 2020, of course, I took some time every now and again to address some trolling. I don't have time for that right now. All I have time for is making sure that you and I and together we're there to build our future and the next generation's future. That's what my focus is on. So anyway, the dollar. I feel like it's Groundhog's Day and that there are certain people who just constantly are looking for bottoms and tops. And it's the same thing I see happening on the dollar right now. Dollar's up 0.25% today. That must be the bottom of the dollar, right? Are you like what we're looking at over here? And I did a good job earlier in the week at showing you what's going on the DXY and how we've broken down outside of that channel. How that's a massive bearish technical event. That we have this support down over here, the line of hope I call it, because if that holds, then there's a chance we consolidate in this no man's land for a while, right? Until we get back up into this channel, things are looking pretty terrible for the dollar. Everything macro-wise is looking pretty terrible for the dollar. Now, there are people out there who are calling for whatever, right? Look at this chart, though, as I get going over here. Look, this is very, very bearish for the dollar, and this is the amount of debt weighs on the dollar. That's not that. Which way is that going in 2021 as the Senate went blue? Right? Which way is that going? The U.S. is about to take a massive amount of more debt. How much longer to that line of hope breaks? That's my question. Do I think it's going to hold? I don't. Price will show me. And if it does, you know, I'm going to respect what's happening on the charts, right? And then if we get above that trend line, I'll be like, all right, looks like we had a fake breakdown. Dollar looks like it's firming up a little bit. But that's not what we're seeing transpire right now. And when you see the dollar correct, it's not a correction, right? This is a 0.25% move up. This was support. It broke down. We came in, retested it, and resumed off of it. We made the leg down. Now we consolidate. That's what's happening, right? So don't get talked out of your trade. by everyone. All right. You gotta, if in doubt, step back. Step back until it becomes clear for you. All right. So what else? We want to look at gold and silver, right? I'm going to get into the equity markets in a moment. Gold and silver over here. I put out a video update yesterday afternoon just to give a heads up as gold was breaking out of this bull flag. I hope you all saw it, right? As gold was breaking out of this descending channel over here. Breakout over here. Everyone wanted to buy gold. Remember? Just a couple of days ago, we were like, no. We got to be patient. And then all of a sudden, oh, that transpired pretty quick. We've come in for the retest. All right, now we're looking to go ahead and step in. Someone could have taken that trade over here, right, at 1924. I know some of you stepped in down here. I don't personally like that, right? Because you don't buy as you fall into the support. You got to wait for price to resume up, right? So I'm not going to, anyway. But any which way, right? And if you're not in that trade, you still have another chance here as you start resuming up, making the higher high. This looks completely good and healthy. Make sure you have your stop in. Your stop should be below this support over here at 1895 and below that sloping trend line over there, right? So what's a really safe stop loss? Somewhere around 1880, right? That's a really good stop loss. You could always get out, by the way, and get back in if their technical damage is repaired. That's always such a better trade. You want to be going with the momentum, not holding against the momentum. This looks great right now. All right. So what else? Silver. Silver also, again, everyone is aware, if you're looking to buy silver, you need to take out this resistance over here now at 97.58, right? Confirm that to support or come back and test 26 again. Some people took the entry over there around 26.20, 26.30, right? If you're not in the trade right now, there's nothing going on. You're in no man's land. You don't take the entry into the resistance. So you wait for it to break above, get back in. So silver looks good. Gold's looking right now a little more attractive if you're not in the trade, right? Alexander, great to see you back in here with us as always. All right, what else is going on? Let's take a look. Oil's broken above that last bit of resistance over there. Just making a note of it. Not only has it broken it above, it came in for the retest and is resuming out. As far as just targets on oil, over here, the next resistance above us is coming in at 50, what is that, close to 55? 54.61. In that area over here, you have a bit of resistance to come into, but that seems to be so far what we're targeting. This gave a new entry now as that broken resistance is been flipped to support. All right, what else? Let's get into the indexes really quick. So Brandon mentioned this morning, a lot of people feel that we are, a lot of people feel that, the indexes right now are in a very dangerous place, that we're going to be crashing. That's because people are always looking for the markets to crash, right? Are they not? Who was there when the markets were crashing and who destroyed them? Right here, CTM, right? But the markets are not crashing right now. Not only are the markets not crashing, the markets are riding this massive wave of central bank liquidity, and that liquidity continues, and that liquidity is going to get a jump from the U.S. government over here as we're going to start talking about $1 trillion of borrowing, right? That's the signal that I am watching. I am watching not like, what is the PE ratio? That stuff's all broken. Why is it broken? Because the market's fake, right? The market's fake. You have to trade off of what is happening. That's the technicals right now. And you have to watch your levels and stay on the right side of the market. Over here, now that we've come out of this area of consolidation on the S&P 500, we've come into the all-time high resistance. Is that bearish? Not even close. You can't even get any more bullish than this. Is this a place you want to buy? Listen, I remain firm. Just equities are simply unattractive. They're not risky at all right now. If we got any type of correction in 2021, a correction meaning somewhere around a 9% drawdown on the S&P 500, that might become attractive again, right? At that point when everyone is looking to go ahead and sell the markets because the Great Depression is here and we're going down to zero, that might be the time to step in. Right now, from a swing trader's perspective, there's no setup here to step in as we're coming here to the all-time high. That could change, within the next few days or next week, we'll be watching and pointing out any swing trades that develop because that helps fine tune our skill set, right? What about the Nasdaq? Nasdaq's still lagging. Now we could kind of put in this little bit of a trend line over here. You could see it pretty clearly, like that trend line right there. That's what the market's showing us. It should be like that. So get above that, right? What does that do? That opens up a leg that will be taking us into this resistance, into the resistance at all-time highs. Why we're below that, it's completely, I don't want to say bearish because it's completely neutral. We have to, like above this support over here, how could you say that this even remotely looks even like bearish at all? You can't. It's super bullish, right? But it's lagging right now, continues to lag a little bit. That could change very quickly. Again, just to reiterate, there's nothing, they're just unattractive. They're entirely bullish, but unattractive. Russell, right after that huge 4% gain yesterday, is just like Ethereum. These are monster gains, and then it's consolidating them almost on the way up. It's ridiculous. It's not price action that I could trade. I didn't have the hindsight over coming into this area over here to be able to buy off of that. That was because of what was going on. Well, December 6th wasn't a risk event. I forgot what December 5th was. Anyway, it's just didn't happen. The Dow, let's check it out over here, new all-time highs. So that's the equity markets. Equity markets remain uber bullish over here. I don't think that there's anything to worry about. By the way, bull markets, what do is they can constantly climb that wall of worry. If at any point in time we see the equity markets entering any type of pullback and or correction, and the markets are reacting negatively to good news, well, that will be a sign that we're looking for further downside. None of that is happening. Could things change in 2021? Insolvency is a real threat. It is something that I'm definitely watching out for. We're seeing, awesome. Thank you, brother. We're seeing a lot of people, a lot of small businesses, especially restaurants, just really getting obliterated. Watch out for the big ones. Watch out for the big companies, whether or not they come under pressure. We're not seeing signs of that yet, just the small guy. And we're seeing this purposely orchestrated movement, right, from small business into big business. That's what's happening over there. So why I'm alert and watching out for any insolvency risks. They're not here right now. There's nothing to talk about. Interesting, Winthrop. I'm not even aware of it. George, if it comes up, we'll be watching out for it. Right now, there's not even any signs that we need to look out for. So I'm going to focus on what we need to watch out for right over here right now. I'm sorry, I was looking for that, right? So anyway, let's keep going. And by the way, brother, glad you positioned in. I'm going to focus on Bitcoin today. It's very important. I want to share everyone what's going on in my mind. If you're here this morning, please go ahead and smash that like button. Help us get going over here this morning. Tesla is that unique situation over here, and it's because of what we're looking at over here with this enormous liquidity being provided by the central banks. Even though, I've talked about it many times going into the event of it being added to the S&P 500, simply that's generally when you see the interim top. I've put the asterisk. It could be different, only the fact of what we're looking at, the massive QE being injected into the markets. It's super uber asset inflationary. Let's move over now and talk about Bitcoin. But before we do that, I do digress. I got to get into the habits over here. Kips has requested we add the UK 100. He says that, listen, he's brought to our mind all year long. He's been the clearest on it. Hold on. Where is it? I got it here. The chart of charts that Will shared with me. This is the multi-year trend break of the commodity index over here. Kips was preemptive of that over here over the summer, mentioning that the UK 100 is the index making largely built up of the most commodity-based companies. Again, I'm not up to speed on that. Nevertheless, I want to continue following what's going on over there. Let's take a look at what's going on the UK 100, which will become part of our daily routine over here. You can see us into that resistance right now. Now, this is a big level, but this is a much bigger level above us, right? So let's watch what's happening here as price comes into that resistance right now. look, this is a place to, first of all, this is a like, because this is a decent level, and why I say it's a decent level is because you can see over here this big test of support. Again, it was support, then it climbed over, and again, it's a level the market's paying attention to. This is a level that I would generally take full profits into, or a large piece, large being like 40 or 60%, and then wait for it to confirm that level and get back above to reestablish a position. Right now, a pullback also into this area over here, the market established a big area of resistance over there. That should be support. That would be the next, that's local support. That would be the next place to look for a buy entry below us. So it's a pullback into this area over here right now. You're into resistance right now, or breaking above this resistance, confirming it, and then targeting above. The resistance above us is bigger resistance, right? Above that level, we have a lot of noise over here. There's a lot to work through. It's not going to be a sharp move, right? And then above there, we have this resistance up there. We don't need to draw that in today. This is what we're focused in on right in front of us. So again, thanks for everyone going ahead and smashing that like button, getting us going this morning. I want to focus in on Bitcoin this morning with you all. And the reason I want to focus in on Bitcoin is because the reason I want to focus in on Bitcoin is because my perception is changing. I want to make sure that you all understand what I'm viewing, what I'm seeing, why it's changing, and how it's changing. Very, very important. I'm actually going to have to focus a little bit further on what's going on. I'm going to just move the comments off so I can't even see them, so I can focus on what I want to present to you. So right now we have Bitcoin trading at $38,400. It looks like it's going straight up. If you look at the weekly chart over here, that's why I started this chart over here on the weekly time frame, just to show you that we are going vertical right now, okay? This chart over here is what set off my change in perception and what's going on in Bitcoin. I alluded to you the fact that, listen, I'm going to start watching Bitcoin from even a higher perspective of the 3-day and just raising my perspective, making sure I don't get shook out of my own trade over here. Again, the greatest risk to anyone, I believe, during this bull market phase is not being fully positioned, right? A lot of people saw that just yesterday. A lot of people got out yesterday right around, I don't even know the prices anymore. I would say around 34, 35,000. And then all of a sudden now we're trading at 38,000. They have to buy back in higher. Now, over here, I want to just point this out really quick, not because I was right. I want to point out what I've added to this conversation, right? I talked about, as Bitcoin was at 19,000, that my eyes were then on 4,500. That does not mean I'm looking for a pullback, a 30% pullback at that level. Actually, this chart over here, because these trend lines, I believe, are way more important. I looked at these trend lines over here, and I could see the next thing that I'm targeting over here is 53,000, 53,500. That's the next trend line that comes into effect, right? So then before I get into what I'm currently thinking, I just want to share a couple of comments with you. It was from Tim who started it, right? Tim is like, am I the only one who's not comfortable with this vertical movement over here, right? I'm experiencing the bull season and it's scary, right? So I mentioned to him, look, because I'm going through the same thing yesterday. Before Tim even wrote that, I had to go ahead and look at the price action in 2013, right? When price was going vertical. It had a 500% gain in 1 month and multiple 50% gains. Watch this. This is really important. I want you to focus on this. And obviously, as you all know how I think by now, like I have always the thesis, my point at the end of the sentence. And then I'm constantly building up until I get to that, right? But this is part of the journey over here. This is very important to imprint it on your minds right now. So going back over here, this is 2013. I don't want you to focus in on the date right now. I want you to focus more on the price right now and pretend you're in this trade over here. Price has risen, right? About 70% over there, okay? All of a sudden, it's up 100%. Right now, if you're in this trade, you're thinking, wow, price is really starting to move up pretty straight. A lot of traders exited over here. You could go back on Twitter and look in January of 2013 and look at all the traders that exited their position over here. But watch the price, right? Wow. Now we're really starting to go vertical, right? Right now, if I was in this trade, I would be like, wow, we're starting to really move up to the upside. And then wow, and then okay, that's it. That's probably the blow off top. That move was tremendous, right? Then watch what happens over here, the shakeout, right? A lot of traders exit over here. Watch what's happening over here. Retrain your brain, reprogram your brain. This is very important over here. And then I'm going to get to what has changed my opinion, what I'm looking to do, and how I'm going to be trading this bull market. Then boom, melt your face off over here. We come up, and now this is truly vertical over here. Look at that. Could you believe after this bar over here, like that bar was put in? That's a 60% gain in 1 month coming off a 50% gain. That's insane price action. That's vertical. We're not going vertical right now. I mean, we are going vertical, but for Bitcoin vertical. And then boom, by the way, look at that move from over here. That was almost like a 70% move, 90, 80% move before Bitcoin sold off. Now, before I go further, watch what happens next after we have this sustained pullback. And then all of a sudden, Bitcoin again really goes vertical. I mean, goes vertical with a 500% move over here. All right. So Bitcoin has a history of doing this. I want to focus over onto this chart with you right over here right now, because I was getting my bearings looking at this chart. The first thing my eyes are drawn to is this previous cycle. This is what could happen next, in my opinion, right? Maybe we move into this next resistance somewhere around 53,000. Maybe, by the way, just because I haven't said it, I'm no longer looking for, I got to go over here. Right over here. All right. So so the question is yeah, Jordan, you said that we would be going into the 40,000 and then a 30% drawdown. So just so everyone's clear, I am no longer looking, strategy number 3, right? Strategy number 2. I'm no longer looking for 30% drawdowns, only mentally prepared for 30% plus drawdowns at any time. And actually, as I'm going to share with you right now, much bigger drawdowns. We're going to talk about that in a second. If the current pace continues, I'll be looking for a much bigger drawdown from much higher. Okay? So this kind of changes the way that I view strategy number 2. Because in strategy number 2, I was set on as we came back 15, 25, 30% to keep scaling in, looking for those 30% drawdowns. Now that we're starting to move up and the pace is changing, right? I'm going to be less apt to taking 30% drawdown because I think we might see a much bigger drawdown. I'm going to explain that to you and show that to you right now. I said that was a rough sketch at the time. Using the trend lines in yesterday's video, 53,500 looks like a better target for now, but I'm not selling there because I'm not looking for that 30% drawdown. I'm not at all trading strategy number 3 at all unless we get much higher. I'll talk about that right now with you as well. So the next thing on my mind right now is what happens into this trend line over here around 53,500. I am not exiting the trade. I am not taking profit. But what could happen is something like this, where we pull back again, pull back into this trend line over here. We'll be coming in somewhere around 40,000, which would be entirely healthy. We could see something like that unfold. And this is a healthy bull market, by the way. This was a 30x bull market. But we might be entering something like this vertical price movement. And this is why I won't sell at 53,000. Is it possible that we trade up towards $100,000 and soon, right? Is it possible over the next month that we trade to? Yeah, that's possible right now, right? We have an enormous inflow of money coming from institutions right now. Models are breaking, but the model's not really breaking, right? It's just a question of which model, and models are nothing more than guides. The model is like, this is not how it's going to play out. I've said it from the very beginning. I'm going to adapt to what's happening and making sure I'm able to ride this wave to the best of my ability. So there are many people who can't take the flexibility. Well, then you're going to get left behind. I'm telling you right now, there's no way that I'm also expecting now the possibility, and I'll tell you right now, if we break 53,500 and that's going vertical at that point, that resembles much more of this type of price action than it does this type of price action. I will no longer be looking to position myself in on any 30% drawdowns because I think that we might see a much bigger drawdown. Now, whether that's a 50% drawdown in the bull market phase or a 70% drawdown in the bull market phase, I have no idea. I have no idea, but I will not be positioning myself in at 30% if I'm looking for maybe a 50 or 70% drawdown, right? So I'm going to make sure that right now I'm fully positioned in. I'm going to make sure I hold on over here, right? And I'm going to watch to see as we continue up over here, whether we resemble something more like this as we come into 53,000. If we do get that pullback, all right, then I'll be able to adjust myself. Or if we start going straight up, a lot of people are going to be selling on that way up because they're thinking price can't go vertical. I'm going to make sure that I hold the line, that I'm not selling, right? However, if we come up over here and all of a sudden we take out, even into 100,000, if that's vertical up over the next month, I'll be expecting a bigger pullback, bigger than 30%. But if the models continue to break to the upside and we go even higher than that, at that point, I'm going to have to consider, wow, maybe we're going to have like a 70, 80% drawdown. And maybe it's going to resemble this cycle more, where we have these double moves. Here's one move up, then price packed off, consolidated, and then we had another move up. That's what I'm going to be ready for. The bottom line is I'm adapting to the market, and the market is changing right now as price is moving as it is, which is straight up. It's resembling more of a vertical move upwards. I have to understand that I can't step in the way of that vertical move. You could see what happened now over here in the past, right? I'm not going to exit just because this candle looks crazy to me. That move from 50 to 71 looks crazy, all right? But that was nothing. So you got to be careful. I want to make sure everyone is able to ride that trade, stay in that trade. I want to be on the record, everyone knowing right now how I'm changing, how I'm adapting to the market, just so we're all clear and on the same page. Now, I have no idea about anything, Trade like a chameleon, right? So anyway, I hope you all understand what I wanted to share with you. Yeah, so I do believe, Jeffrey, that the Pi cycle gave, let's check it out really quick because I need to know for myself. I believe that the Pi cycle gave the exit on both of those moves in the first cycle. Let's check it out. I'm sorry, that has to be on this one, on the Brave New Coin Liquid. So let me pull up that. Let me pull up the Pi cycle. Let's take a look together really quick. And let's see whether or not it gave us a nice exit signal on the way up on the first side. All right, so here we are. So yeah, you got a cross right there. You got a Jeffrey. We got a cross right over there on the way up over there. I want to see where that cross came in. That cross came in. Let's see, right there. What's price at? Close of price 161. Not a bad exit. Is that within 25% of the top? I don't think so, but it's a good exit. Listen, I'll take it if I could do that for sure. And then what about on the second way up? Did we get another exit on the Pi cycle? We did. Even a better one. That's almost at the very top. So Pi cycle, pretty solid. So by the way, Jeffrey, the reason, because I was thinking about that last night without looking, if we did get a crossover here on the Pi cycle on this first wave up, or when I say first wave up, like one wave, two wave, right? Is this more of a one wave bull market, or are we going to see a one wave, two wave bull market, right? Right now, it could go either way, right? 53,000 is going to be that trend line resistance. That's going to be a nice marker for us to get a better idea of what it might look like, right? And also 97,000, because we could also make this all the way up to 97,000 and then pull back over here somewhere towards 60,000, right? That would resemble actually more of this than this. But if we make it all the way up here, if we're 200 and 160,000, from 160,000 and above, that resembles very much like that. I would exit this first wave. I would exit this first wave. When I say exit, would I exit my full position? I don't know. I'll talk to you about it then. But I would be exiting on a Pi cycle indicator cross, because that is basically, I can't imagine. I don't know of a better exit. How about that? All right, so what else? So if you want to use Pi cycle yourself, you have to go to lookintobitcoin.com. Just join their patron, and then you have access to using the Pi cycle. I don't know. I don't know right now. It would be significant, but I don't know, Edward, right now. It would be significant because once that happens, price is going vertical, like for real vertical, and it's at an inflection point. I don't know what it is, but if we get there, and as we get there, obviously you know that I'm there with you, and we'll let you know. So what else are we looking at today? Yeah, we didn't stop in and look at Ethereum. Let's do that. So boom. I don't know what else to add or say about that. Um, as far as analysis, it's really seems to be tracking Bitcoin's vertical move over here, and I think that why I clearly think the best way to. By the way, Raul Powell, everyone probably saw the thread he put out with Ethereum yesterday. You could read that if you didn't. If you're interested in Ethereum. About as far as my opinion on it and everything like that, I don't really want to get into that right now. I just want to kind of focus in on these charts over here. But if you're into Ethereum, right, and as Ethereum is putting in this move, the best way to ride Ethereum, any altcoins, and this bull market is as we look to exit Bitcoin, and whether at any point we look to exit Bitcoin, if it's a double wave and we exit the first wave, and or at the end of the cycle, that's when you exit your altcoins. So right now, it looks like everything is in unison over here. Alt season is upon us right now. Look at XRP up 36% today. All right, so let me go ahead and remove this from my chart. No, I don't think Bitcoin was manipulated in the first cycle. I think that Bitcoin saw an inflow of capital in the first cycle. And that's what's happening right now, is that you're seeing a huge inflow of capital into Bitcoin right now. And that's what it was. Listen, all markets are manipulated. Gold probably the most, right? The gold market is probably the most heavily manipulated market there is. But I'm not going to not trade gold because of it. I just understand what's going on and trade around that, right? So all markets are manipulated right now in Bitcoin, right? We're seeing what? We're just seeing the 4-year cycle play out, and we're seeing a massive fight for those 21 million Bitcoins. All right, what else are we looking at? Boom, 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 boom. Sean, laughing at you, brother. Laughing at you. All right. Now we could kind of go through the rest of the cycle. I want to figure out what's going on with the rest of the altcoins we were looking at over there. Why is the 10-year yield up? I don't really track the treasury yields. But basically what you're looking at over here, as the Dems took the Senate and now have a clean sweep over here, and as we're going to be talking about this massive fiscal stimulus, you're seeing yields react, right? But that's noise. That's noise. When it comes to yields, there's no question about it. QE is deflationary. There's no doubt about it. There's no way the Fed can allow those rates to rise. That's just noise. Just follow the signal on that. Yeah, let's look at that. I'm definitely in favor of right now at this point in the cycle, looking at this continued towards the direction of silver, but let's check it out. This is the gold to silver ratio over here. The great point out over here. I forgot when it was. I think it was right around over here as we were coming into the support with you guys sometime in December. I pointed out that triangle pattern to you, and I said it won't be long, I think, before we break down out of that. Here we are now challenging that low. But look, just, I mean, you're into support. I'm glad you pointed it out. Not only that, it's a pretty big level, as you said over there. I'm trying to see over here where to definitely put the line of support best. It's a little bit jumpy. I can't get a clear look. I would say right exactly over here. That's at 69.31. Let me put that line in over there. I think it's a matter of time before we break that. But nevertheless, there it is, right? There it is. Good. I'm glad you pointed that out. But there's not much to add over there. I think at this point of the junction over here of the market, that silver is going to be outperforming gold, right? Just as I think that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin in this cycle. That's why I've been lining up the Ethereum Bitcoin trade. Nevertheless, for me, the stronger trades in Bitcoin, that's where I'm involved. Just remember this. This stimulus is only filling the gap and lost incomes, not providing normal stimulus in normal times. Kips, could you expand on that for me, for myself, and where that leads us? Right? So the stimulus, by the way, the stimulus is is not only to when you're talking about people getting $600 checks or $2,000 checks. That's like how you pacify the people. Because if you remember back in the 2008 bailouts, it was a bank bailout. The people, didn't grab their pitchforks, but if it happened again, they would have. So this time they sent out some checks to the people, right? And then but all that money went where? Right? Bezos, he's the one who capitalized on all that money, right? It went into those who hold assets. Only the wealthy hold assets, right? That's why you're seeing all this inflation take place. But the people were like, oh yeah, I got mine. And then this time over here, they just gave everyone, $600 more. And then massive amount of money went to foreigners and everywhere. But that money is stimulus, right? It's not the money that the people receive so that they think twice about, grabbing their pitchforks. It's where the rest of the money goes. And if we're talking about massive stimulus coming, not $2,000 checks, but $1 trillion stimulus coming, that's the stimulus signal that I'm looking at, right? Yeah, this is the insolvency risk that I'm also looking out for coming up in 2021. Breadcrumbs. I saw breadcrumbs over there, right? Bread and circus, absolutely. Bread and circus. Mike Maloney has a wonderful playlist on his channel. If you want to find out more about bread and circus, definitely watch that video. It is definitely probably the best place I could perform you. All right, MicroStrategy. I don't even know MicroStrategy's ticker, but MicroStrategy is obviously so well positioned here going forward. Right? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Tracking Bitcoin, going parabolic. Right? Michael Seiler is going to look back. And by the way, I love his little meme out there right now. All models will be broken. All models will be broken. Right? Yeah, I think Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin as it did in 2020. Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin in 2020. I think Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin again, at least throughout the bull market over here. All right. A lot of people right now are looking to go counter trend here on the DXY. Any DXY moves you see right now? First of all, we don't pick bottoms, right? And we ever, because it's a losing man strategy. If you could see that you're in a downtrend, and this is a sharp downtrend that we've been in ever since this breakdown over here of this channel over here, and that was a massive dollar bull over here, right? We're in a downtrend. You want to sell off resistance. So instead of looking to make that money trying to call the bottom, which you might get lucky once or twice doing, and you will, right? But overall, you're going to lose a lot of money. You should be tracking, where's the resistance? Where could I look for that next sell into? You're into some local resistance right over here right now, by the way, right? But that's small local resistance. You could get rejected over there, and if so, that's a smart trade to take. But this might pull back further into the heavy resistance over there. So this is trading view. This is trading view. All right. Sean, the top of Ethereum, the top of altcoins is it within a couple of weeks? Within a couple of weeks, right? So anyway, what else are we looking at over here today? Let me focus in on just my watch list from yesterday. I want to see what is happening over here. New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc, giving a big, this is going to stay green for me tonight. You could see as price is coming back into this area of support, this broken resistance, to see if it holds as support. That's conquering the markets all day long. Let me go to the 8 hour. I'll be watching this one here coming into tonight. It is Friday. I take trades up until New York opens on FX on a Friday during London session. Once New York comes to work, I don't enter the market anymore. There's just not enough time for a trade to develop for myself. It is non-farm payroll tomorrow. That's probably, just because things might be noisy, that might lead me to not taking any trades this week. My first trade back into the new year. Again, I came in cold Monday and Tuesday. I feel pretty good right now. I feel pretty comfortable after spending this time with you this week, going over our analysis, going over the charts over here. Nevertheless, I got that, how do you say, that patience of a killer. I don't know if I should be saying that, but when I say killer, I mean predator killer, right? This is copper. We watched yesterday that retest, but that exploded up without me watching, right? There was obviously a big distraction going on last night. I myself was distracted by it. I'm sure all of you were distracted by it. Nevertheless, what else are we looking at over here? I don't see anything of interest over here. Copper got away from me. The only thing that I'm watching over here is New Zealand dollar, Swiss franc. And although I'm cautious of taking that into non-farm payroll, I don't know whether I will or not. But that's the only thing that I'm looking at here this evening. Let me go ahead and just unflag, except gold. Gold also remains on my radar. So let me just go ahead and quickly unflag all of this. So I'm just quickly in step. And then I just want to take a look at some pairs over here, just so that I remain very much in the flow over here. All right, let me focus on some Japanese yen pairs just to get my feeling over there. Look at this. This is the Euro Japanese yen coming into a big area of resistance. I'm going to obviously be watching this right now. That's definitely in play for me. This is a big area of resistance over here. Getting above that resistance, by the way, that opens up much further upside. Next strong resistance at 129.20. Let me go ahead and throw that over there on the chart as well. 129.20. All right. So I'll be watching that. What about the pound Japanese yen? Let's take a look over here. Nice that it's bouncing off that support. I need to be on the 8-hour. But I don't see it. I'm going to step aside here on the pound. The pound after well, it wasn't a Brexit. The Brexit deal, the Brexit deal is kind of just moderating. It's not really giving me any edge that I like or want to see. Big move here on the US dollar Japanese yen today. Again, this is something that's in a clear downtrend. Now coming up into resistance. You can see the resistance it's coming up to right here. I can move one of these lines. I'll add this one from up here. I can move that down. You can see over here, right? So here I have a spike down into here, a spike down into there, and then it held as support, and then right over there, the resistance. So we're into that resistance right now. Not only that, you can see if I extend this trend line over there, we have that confluence of resistance. So this is an area, US dollar, Japanese yen is very much alive right now, looking in this downtrend over here as we come into that strong resistance there. Look for a possible rejection is there. What else? I want to see the Swiss franc Japanese yen, which I think is just consolidating in a noisy area. Yep. Is that possibly, right? I could see this trend line over here very clearly. So the next thing in my mind, are we seeing any like ascending wedge take place? But I don't know. I don't want to add that in yet, but I want to keep that line in there to remind me. Australian dollar, Japanese yen. This looks good over here. This is, you can see we came right into the resistance and we're consolidating above there. By the way, like everyone could see right there, that's like that little bit of consolidation over there. Breaking out of there above that resistance, that could lead to a beautiful entry over there. I don't know that I would wait for the pullback and retest. Either which way, this is something to keep watching. A lot going on. There's a lot more going on than I expected. It's leading me to believe, as I see this set of wave coming in, that I might be looking to be a little more active than I thought. But we'll see. I don't want to rush it. I don't want to. A lot of times, if you haven't taken trades in the week, right, you have that urgency to get that trade off. Fight that urgency. Just make sure the best time to trade is when things are just so clear. Jim Rogers said it, and I didn't understand it for many years. He's like, I just wait until I see money over on the other side of the room in the corner, and I go over there and pick it up. Right? What that means for me is I'm watching these charts until I see something, not that I'm forcing, that looks so clear that I know it's a trade that I want to take. All right, what else? I just want to check in on cross pairs right now to see whether or not they're setting up. Japanese yen pairs look very much alive, right? So let me go in and focus in on cross pairs right now. We're getting a nice pullback here on the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, coming back into that next bit of local support. There's a bit of a trend line over here I could see also acting as support. Is that an area to think about, to consider leaning into right over here? Possibly, but that would not be right now today, right? We need a little bit further of a pullback, maybe next week. What about some other crosses? Let me check out the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Interesting, continues to consolidate right over here again, just so I keep like the brain. The brain is so important. Just so I stay in the getting above that resistance, that opens up the top side to me. We looked at whether or not we're in an uptrend or a downtrend. You could make the case right now for kind of both or even a downtrend. But I look at that March low over here when the Fed acted as a big signal period, and we're definitely in an uptrend for me. So I want to see us get above that resistance before I start looking at possibly there. And I didn't look at the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, and that's interesting too. Look at that, getting above this area of resistance over here. This opens up a nice trade into that trend line over there. It's not set up, right? I got to wait for a retest of that line before I could get interested in it. But just so I'm observing what's going on and aware that right now that we've broken above this resistance, be watching and waiting for a pullback. Maybe I'll set this as yellow just because I'm not looking for an entry yet, but because that's now definitely in play. Euro, Australian dollar, nothing else for me to see there. That you can see this isn't a strong downtrend, right? You want to sell that resistance now, but that's a move back into that last local resistance. Very aggressive. It's not a trade that I'm looking to take here Thursday going into Friday. Not much going on here at all in the Euro Canadian dollar. Just trying to get a feel what's going on. That's when cross pairs. Euro British pound remains in this channel over here. A breakout above this resistance that opens up the upside over there. Euro New Zealand dollar. This is similar to the Euro Australian dollar I just looked at over there. This is the heavy or bigger resistance. We're into some resistance right now, though. Again, it would just be a little aggressive for me right now. We'll see what happens. I would not take the trade, but I'll see if I was wrong or not. How about that? Pound Canadian dollar. Got a little bit of resistance right there. Is that worth getting involved in? Worth taking? It's worth me putting a trend line down further over there. It's a decent enough level of resistance right there that I want to track it and see what's going on. We're gonna use that area right up. I don't even like it. I'm watching this area right over here, but it's not clean for me, so I'm not gonna track it. All right. Pound Canadian dollar, nothing to see or do there, so I'm gonna skip over that. What about the pound New Zealand dollar? All right. A little bit of patience. If we pull back a little further into the bigger resistance, I might be looking for either the pound Australian dollar or the pound New Zealand dollar, but not just yet. And again, just that awareness. It is Friday. Tomorrow is Friday. All right. I'm trying to delete that line. I'm having trouble though. Pound US dollar, we didn't take a look at over here. Below that little bit of local resistance right now, but just consolidating. With that in mind, let me look at the Euro US dollar. Also into a little bit of support right now. I think it's too soon. I'm not interested in a US dollar trade right now. And that's going back to the DXY. We're seeing this little bit of noise right now. This is not any signs yet of a bottom or anything like that. This is simply, we just made a leg down. And what happens after expansion? Consolidation. But every time, and this has been going on for months now, every time the DXY has one up day, people are calling the bottom of the dollar, right? How many times have you seen it? So anyway, that's that. That's what we're looking at. Ooh, that's true. Iron ore. I don't know what we could look at over here. Boom. Commodity. Boom. That's a trend that is, again, just you could look at this chart over here. It's this one. Which chart is it? This one over here. You know, this, like, again, this is the trend line break over here, 2021. I think we're going to see the great commodity run, right? So that's that. You know, whether or not how you choose to trade that whether or not you're trading that through an ETF, a basket of commodities, or individual commodities themselves. I'm partial, probably because of my love for the guy, but I'm partial towards nickel. I'm a big believer in the trade, but my focus obviously is where my focus is on. Chainlink, let's take a look at Chainlink over here. Jay, I don't know, is there any way to see the size of the trades at the moment? Is it small retail or big blocks being on what market are you talking about, Jay? And by the way, I just follow what's going on the charts, right? I mean, and you could look at Bitcoin as Jay. Don't ever follow institutions. Institutions are usually last to the trade. Look at Bitcoin, right? Institutions are just entering the market now. They're way late on that, right? So what's going on over here as we look at Chainlink over here? You could see it over here, a pullback into the support over here, a resumption off of this, riding the momentum. It's a momentum trade right now, but that could give the possibility of the first possible re-entry into Chainlink. You're looking right now as we broke above 1345. And I said above 1345 is when it, hard and fast. Any pullbacks now into support is when you're looking a resumption off to play it, right? So let me just step back and get a look at Chainlink over here. Yeah, and we did say above 1345, it wouldn't be long until 16, right? This resistance over here at 1640. And then from there, because we've taken that out, it wouldn't be long, I believe, until we test that all-time high. Yeah, gold we looked at this morning. Gold we looked at yesterday. If you want a view on gold, look at the video on the recently uploaded video yesterday on gold. It's titled Gold, right? And it'll give you the best look at gold. Better than I'll give you right now or that we looked at earlier in the session when we looked at gold. Just go ahead to the channel. Look for probably the 2 or 3 most recent published video on gold. And you're going to get a really good look as we're breaking out over here of this bull flag in this massive uptrend in this bullish market, this breakout, this bull market, this breakout, and now retest that we're looking to see if we hold. It talks about where you should be placing your stop loss levels and what the entry looks like. So watch out for that. All right. So we're going to call it a quick session today, 1 hour session. I really got what was the most important thing to share with you today. First of all, that as Brandon wanted to really cover today, that was the importance of making sure that everyone holds firm on the equity markets, right? Because no, they're not crashing. They're making new all-time highs, right? Everyone on this channel obviously is very clear. There's only 2 times when I pointed out ever since the March low when they looked risky, right? Now is not clearly one of them. They're unattractive in the fact that there's many other more attractive trades. We're all involved in them. I don't have to worry about that. The DXY also, yeah, is this a bottom today because we've had, a bit of a spike here in the DXY? No, I don't think it's anything close. Again, on Monday or Tuesday in the afternoon video, gave a beautiful video on the DXY. What is the signal we're paying attention to? And some nice technical analysis to consider. This is nothing more. The same thing of Bitcoin is trades down, right? Well, here it's Bitcoin trading down. Was anyone thinking that this was going to be like a massive pullback? I don't know. There are still people out there, I listen to them, that are talking about Bitcoin going back towards what? $10,000 is not going to happen, in my opinion, either which way. There we are. I'm going to go ahead and prepare for our live training session, which is starting in 32 minutes. I will send out the link by email and to the Conquering the Markets Telegram group as the link is generated, as that session starts. This afternoon, definitely send out an update to what's going on. And then I'll see you all in the morning for a Friday session. And tomorrow's Friday session, best friend of childhood since kindergarten, right? The one who put together our intro that we use on our updated videos has gone ahead and put together a Conquering the Markets track. I'll go ahead and share that with you after tomorrow's live stream. Always love our Friday's live streams. Our Friday live stream, by the way, right, since we're not looking to actively take any new trades, is really more focused on like AMA, Ask Me Anything. We get to follow the flow of all of you And I absolutely really enjoy that interaction with all of you. They're always a fun session. So I'll see you all then. Have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Yes, thank you. I'm glad to hear. I never know how you guys receive what I have to share. I share what's important to me. It's useful for myself. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I'm sharing it for you. This Bitcoin session deserves its own video. It's very important. I'm glad that you all enjoyed and appreciate that as well. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.